Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's remind you of the Twitter poll question that we've been running. Of course, Rachel Makura will bring you that in just a moment. But before we get into that, let's bring you into our sit-down session, the award-winning film Letters of Hope, set in 1976 apartheid South Africa, follows the story of a 16-year-old Jeremiah who wants to be a policeman but faces opposition from his father, a local postman. Now, following his father's death, Jeremiah uncovers his father's secret courier service, delivering letters from freedom fighters in exile and prison to their families. After winning the Artistic Bravery Award at the Durban International Film Festival and multiple nominations at Africa Academy Movie Awards, it will now be adopted into a thrilling musical to be staged at the Pretoria State Theatre. Let's take a look at this. Right, let's unpack this now. We're joined by actors Sibulele Gcilitshana and Aphiwe Mkefe, as well as director Vusi Africa, who are all in studio, of course, to take us into some of their roles in the build-up to Letters of Hope, the musical. Very good morning to you all. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was listening to your reaction as you saw the trailer, and of course, almost some sort of admiration, stepping out of your own roles to admire your work. I mean, that in itself is amazing. Really amazing storyline showcasing the realities of apartheid. Of course, a story that has now been adopted into this thrilling musical. Talk to us, Vusi, about this musical. I mean, you yourself have done some stellar work within the filmmaking industry, winning numerous awards, and now being granted the opportunity to turn this into a musical.
I think it's a very important story, you know, and I think that was the discussion that was happening between ourselves and the State Theatre. You know, we recognized the importance of the story, and because the story is about ordinary South Africans at that time, you know, who were involved in some of the crucial activities of the struggle for revolution, which was the secret courier services of letters, you know, which was critical in keeping people in contact between those who were in exile and those who were in, you know, at home. So, so the story had to, you know, to now be brought back into a different format because we felt the need, and I mean, it's been 5 years since the film had been produced, you know, so we felt the need and the desire to, you know, to bring it to a different audience and maybe relive it through a different experience. And music, in this regard, you know, comes from the fact that we've gone through all the challenges we go through in South Africa. You know, the song, you know, music is a part of us, you know, in our marriages, in our ceremonies, you know, in everything we do, there's music. So it felt right to, you know, to make it a musical.
Mm-hmm. And Vusi Africa, Aphiwe, you play the 16-year-old Jeremiah, and of course, that in itself is the center of the story. Talk to us about that role and what it took in terms of preparation and being a part of it.
I really think the true sense of the story would be Jeremiah coming to understand the actual importance of what is happening with his family, which is to deliver these letters to these families. These letters coming from their exiled loved ones that had to leave because of the apartheid regime that was happening at the time to go and join Mpho Sithole. Playing this role for me was quite educational. Growing up in school, we're often taught about the heroes you always hear about in history, you know, or Mandela or Steve Biko. We don't actually ever hear about the unsung heroes. And if you actually think about apartheid, it affected everyone, it affected all families, and this is just a celebration and an ode to those unsung heroes.
And I know that, Sibulele, you've done a lot of work on our television screens. The transition, is it something new from, going onto stage and being part of this incredible musical?
Not at all, Mpho. So I am actually stage trained as a performer. And
that's what all you actresses do, stage trained.
and interestingly, for me, almost 18 years ago, I was on the same stage at the State Theatre, and it's such a warm feeling, and for me and everybody around the State Theatre who's still there, who had seen me as a young actress. So I was more than happy when Vusi approached me again and saying he's doing this as a musical. And in fact, theatre is my first love, and maybe you hear that a lot, but it is. It's just that there isn't a lot of theatre that we're doing in our country, and also actresses need to sustain themselves, beyond just theatre. So we then do TV, film, and everything else that we do.
And the roles on television and on stage, I mean, is there sort of a transition? And in terms of preparation, what are the big differences?
Yeah, no, it's quite huge. There's a big difference because, generally, for instance, for TV, you'd have to have that initial script reading, and also you do not shoot in sequence, right? You then, parts of the story, you would have only gotten to know what's happening in the story on that first reading. But with theatre, you walk and build on the story step by step. But not only that, you cover the story in the 4 or 5 weeks of rehearsal, and you almost search for the place that you go to that is, that the director says, this is the performance that, that best expresses this particular scene. And something in you and in your body is something that you work towards every minute and every second when you are in front of that audience, every single time. And there is no moment like on TV when they're going to say for you, cut. No, it wasn't quite there. For stage, you find it in that 5 weeks, you lock it in your body, and all you do every single day, you almost beg your body to say, let's go there to that place, take me to that place. It's here, I've locked it in this body, and let's share it with the audience.
That's incredible. That's absolutely amazing. I understand it opened on the 14th of July. How was that received?
It was a full house. It's been since the past 3 days. Standing ovations. People should come to the show.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, you guys played the trailer. We saw the trailer now for the first time. I was absolutely in awe. I couldn't believe that was actually me. My biggest regret is that I actually won't be able to watch myself perform live. But yeah, this is an absolutely incredible play. It's absolutely historical. Not a lot of films actually get the opportunity to be adapted into a theatrical play, nonetheless a musical. Very few have been done, and Vusi is actually the first of his generation to be doing this. So this is a momentous occasion, and it's quite an important moment, especially for the youth, during Youth Month, to come out and actually learn a bit about our history.
Did you think that there's been a change in terms of how you portray the character on stage?
As opposed to the film.
As opposed to the film, because I was speaking about the preparation.
So this was actually my first professional theatre production. And this whole process for me has been absolutely gruesome. I've learned a lot about myself as an actor. I've learned a lot about myself as a performer, and I think this process has made me a much better performer. It's something incredible that I can't truly explain. But yeah, Sibulele is right. It's something we have to lock in. It's something that is truly inside, and every single day we have to just beg ourselves to get to that point. And I can't wait for everybody to come out and to come see the play.
Even from a directorial perspective, it's completely a different take. To direct actors in a film and to direct actors on stage, you have to be sharp because your tools are very less, very minimal. And, the bodies are the tools. They are the visual effects, they are the editing, they are the sound, they are everything. So you have to find a way to put all of that together and sort of, and make it work.
So in terms of details, you say it's been showcasing for 3 days. a standing ovation. How long until you close? And also, perhaps talk about some of the key messages that you're bringing out as this story is being narrated.
I think the most important message, in this story is the message of family, the importance of family. Yeah. The importance of black families, and when I say black families, I speak about complete units, because what we've often seen broken black families, and that has been, the portrayal, and for me, in this production, family becomes imperative in holding up a young person and giving him direction and molding him, into what, an ideal future adult, will be, and instilling family values, and focusing on black family legacy. What is family legacy, So I think for me that's the biggest take, in this production. The production is showing up until the 23rd of July. It is a very, very limited season, but yeah, definitely, people can see it. It's we're showing from Tuesday up until Sunday. So we are still showing today, tomorrow, and then Monday the show is not on. We're showing Tuesday, and then up until Sunday. Sunday is the closing night, final night on the 23rd.
Sounds amazing. Congratulations to you all. I mean, it really sounds incredible. Thank you so much for coming in studio and talking to us about it. That was, of course, actors Sibulele Gcilitshana and Aphiwe Mkefe, as well as director Vusi Africa, talking about this incredible musical, Letters of Hope.